And now, on to the fan favorite portion of the episode, This Week in History, a trivia style. La 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 la. La 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 la. Gotta scroll down because I did it wrong. Here we go. I'm gonna take a sippy sip. Are you ready? Here we go. On January 26th, 1926, which new technology was publicly demonstrated for the first time in London? January 26th, 1926, which new technology was publicly demonstrated for the first time in London? Here are your multiple choice options. Was it color photography, television, FM radio, or motion picture sound? It's January 26th, 1926. Which of these four things was introduced for the first time in London? Was it color photography, television, FM radio, or motion picture sound? I'm waiting for your answers. I'm waiting for your answers. And I'm turning off the heater, 'cause it makes a lot of noise. Yeah, I figured there would be. Oh, Robert is popping in with color picture. Mr. Taney says, I feel like TV would be American. Jessica says, FM radio. We've got all of our options in. I feel like making love. I feel like it is television. James is going to go with motion picture with sound. Jessica's FM radio. Robert is color picture. I'm going to go with television. So right off the bat, one of us is right and the rest of us are wrong. We'll find out who it is. Question number 2. Which American became the first U.S. prisoner of war held in North Vietnam beginning captivity on January 26th, 1965? Again, which American became the first U.S. prisoner of war held in North Vietnam, beginning his captivity on January 26th, 1965? Here are your options. Was it John McCain? Was it Everett Alvarez Jr.? Was it James Stockdale? Or was it Jeremiah Denton? I'm going to point out that you may be wrong there, infallible James, because we didn't do anything last week. Last week was Groundhog's Day Eve, and I was partying hard. So we didn't do anything last week, so don't tell me that this question came up last week. Duh. Who was the first U.S. prisoner of war in North Vietnam? John McCain, Everett Alvarez Jr., James Stockdale, or Jeremiah Denton? The infallible can't make up a decision. He goes with Stockdale or Denton. You can't do that. You have to pick one. I give you multiple choice options, and you have to choose one. Colonel Braddock. That's hilarious, Robert. Robert goes with John McCain, but throws in Colonel Braddock later as an option. I feel like we all know who John McCain is, and we all know who James Stockdale is. I love James Stockdale. He was running for vice president of the United States, and the opening line at the debate was, "Who am I? Why am I here?" I just thought that was awesome. So being the most famous people, I don't think they would have been the first. Jessica goes with Denton, and I think that's a good choice. But because of the way things are going today, I'm going to go with Alvarez. Jessica's going to go with Denton. Robert's going to go with McCain. And James has answered going with Stockdale Denton. They're two different people. It's either Stockton or Stockdale or Denton. You can't go with both, man. I don't know what you're trying to do there. We're just gonna give him a wrong answer on this. All right, question number 3. The U.S. Supreme Court held its first official session on February the 1st of what year? That's a tough one. The United States Supreme Court held its first session when? Stockdale. Okay, he's going with Stockdale. Got it. You're wrong, but I got it. A U.S. Supreme Court held its first official session. What year? February 1st of what year? Here are your options. 1776, 1781, 1789, or 1790. If you do not know the answer, this is what I've always said. If you do not know the answer, you remove the highest and lowest numbers, and then you give yourself a 50-50 chance of being right. So there goes 1790. There goes 1776. I think it was closer to the beginning of our country. I'm going to go with 1781. Robert went with 1865. Not even freaking close. Not one of the options. Not even close. 1776, 1781, 1789, or 1790. If you're saying anything other than one of those 4 numbers, you're wrong. Wrong. So wrong. Okay. But you are the only one to answer other than me. I'm going to go with 1781. That's my answer. James is going to go with 1790. He went on the high end of the scale. We are deliberately pausing for our friend Jessica. She went with 1789, and Robert agrees with me, 1781. None of us think it's 1776. Like we just created the United States of America. The first thing we need to do is go to trial. Yeah, that's not probable. Question number 4. What major civil rights event began on February the 1st, 1960, helping spark a nationwide movement? What major civil rights event began on February the 1st, 1960, helping spark a nationwide movement? Was it the Montgomery bus boycott? Was it the March on Washington? Was it the Greensboro sit-ins? Or was it the Selma Bridge March? What major civil rights event began on February the 1st, 1960, helping spark a nationwide movement? James pops in with a March on Washington, which is a good guess. The Montgomery bus boycott, the March on Washington, the Greensboro sit-ins, or the Selma Bridge March. Robert says, Rosa Parks sitting here down on a damn bus. Robert's going to go with an answer that's not one of the multiple choice options. And Jessica, as always, is the slowest typer. Why are you so slow, girl? I believe, there she is. It's the March on Washington. So the Taney family is going with the March on Washington. Robert's going to go with, I don't even know what Robert's going to go with. I think what he's trying to say is the Montgomery bus boycott. I'm going to agree. I think it is the bus boycott. We'll find out soon. And 3 more questions. Question number 5. What iconic American athlete, later breaking Major League Baseball's color barrier, was born on January 31st, 1919? What's for breakfast, man? I'm starving. I want some breakfast. What iconic American athlete, later breaking Major League Baseball's color barrier, was born on January 31st, 1919. Montgomery, got it. If you don't know who broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball, then you're going to get this wrong. James, without any multiple choice options, pipes in with Jackie Robinson. You know why? You know why. You know why. James, strawberries need to be sliced. Robert goes with Jackie Robinson. Yeah, and Jessica, I'm sure, is going to say Jackie Robinson too, as am I. The options that they gave us were Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Jackie Robinson, or Satchel Paige. But we all know that the Brooklyn Bomber was Jackie Robinson. And it changed everything forever. Shane Gillis, if you don't listen to Shane Gillis, I highly encourage you. He does such a great joke about the day when white people used to be cool, the day white people stopped being cool, and it was Jackie Robinson's first hit at bat. It's such a wonderful joke. It's so funny. No grits because they are gross. You shut your mouth. You shut your mouth, infallible James. There's nothing wrong with grits. Are those magic grits? No, were they instant grits? No self-respecting Southerner makes instant grits. On January 27th, 1951, the United States conducted its first nuclear test at what location? At what location did the United States conduct its first nuclear test? Here are your options. Was it Los Alamos, New Mexico? Was it Bikini Atoll? Was it the appropriately named Nevada Test Site? Or was it Hanford, Washington? I feel like this is a trick question. I feel like we might have got stumped on this one. Because Nevada Test Site, I feel like, is the right answer. Right? I feel like Nevada Test Site is the right answer. It wasn't Bikini Atoll. We did this in America. And when you think about Los Alamos, yes, we did a lot of stuff at Los Alamos, but I don't know if we tested there. And it definitely wasn't Hanford, Washington. I don't even know what the heck Hanford is. So I have it narrowed down between Nevada Test Site and Los Alamos, New Mexico. Should be Nevada Test Site should be Trinity, right? I think so. Yeah, I think that's where it was done. I think Los Alamos is where they did all the brain stuff. But out of the options that we are presented, I think Nevada Test Site is my answer. I'm going to go with Robert. Jessica saying Nevada Test Site. Robert saying Nevada. And James has disqualified himself. So there we go. The infallible continues to fallible. Question number 7, last question of the week. Which NASA spacecraft was lost during re-entry on February the 1st, 2003? I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of cool things that happened on February 1st. Super Bowl 38, Janet Jackson, Booby. February the 1st, 2003, re-entry, disaster. February the 1st, 2005, Pope John Paul got sick. Pope John Paul II got sick for the last time. A sickness that would take him to death. There's a lot of things that happened on February the 1st, man. Which NASA spacecraft was lost during re-entry on February the 1st, 2003? Was it the Challenger, the Discovery, the Atlantis, or the Columbia? There were only 4 of them. Now there's only 2 of them. If you know the 2 that are remaining, how the F does the Rhythm Nation make? What is wrong? What is that? I remember, like, it was so fast. It was so fast. James says Columbia. Again, your options: Challenger, Discovery, Atlantis, or Columbia. I also loved Giovanni Paolo II. I also loved Pope John Paul II, if you don't know. Blessed my daughter Gina twice. Columbia. Yes. We all know the Challenger exploded after takeoff. And if you know anything about anything, you know the Columbia also didn't make it back. All because of those tiles. You gotta have your tiles. One of the tiles, they had no tiles. Yes, the easy way to remember that is the Challenger blew up off the launch pad, and the other one that starts with C is no more. Those are our answers for this week. Let's find out how we did. I type in answers, please. And here we go. Question number 1. We all chose a different response. But only I was correct with television. Losers. Television was the correct answer. Everett Alvarez. I think I chose Alvarez. I think I'm 2 for 2 right now. I'm pretty sure I chose Alvarez because I knew it wasn't Stockdale. I knew it wasn't McCain, and Jeremiah didn't seem right. I chose Alvarez. I'm 2 for 2. I'm feeling good. And you guys are sucking today. D was 1790. I have to go back to the question to see what the multiple choices were. James got it. Now, my methodology when choosing a correct answer is pertinent when it comes to questions written by humans. These questions are written by AI. AI doesn't have the same problem that humans have. Humans have a problem whenever they write down a number as the correct answer. They have a problem coming up with 3 incorrect answers. So what they always do is they make one that's higher and they make one that's lower, and then they make one that's kind of close. That's what a human does. AI doesn't do that. So congratulations, James. You got question number 3 correct, and I got number 3 wrong. Question number 4, none of us got correct. It was the Greensboro sit-ins. But, in case you didn't know, is a great Neapolitan way of saying, I don't know. But, spelled B-U. Question number 5, we all got it correct. It was, of course, Jackie Robinson. Question number 6, it was the Nevada test site. And question number 7 was the Columbia. Roger B. Taney, Supreme Court Justice. Okay. All right. And that's it. I get up early. I come down here. I have to put on a jacket to stay warm. And I enjoy spending this time with you. I love starting my Sunday with you. I'm disappointed I couldn't go 7 for 7, but none of you did either. So don't get off your high horse and stop being all uppity about how smart you are. And let's do it again next week. For the supplemental, an addition, an add-on, an addendum to your regularly scheduled Lunsby Show. Ladies and gentlemen, I remind you today, as I remind you every day, just be the best person that you could be. And if you're a great person today, be an even better person tomorrow. Chick Bruce sends her love. And Lunsby.